The plants on the deck are growing and being very full at the moment because we have the Achimenes. This is an Achimenes. The purple flower here is they're just hitting their stride, starting to bloom and fill out. And the Caladiums are doing their thing this time of year, and the Begonias are growing, the ones that are still alive. And there's another Caladium. They are tubers. And the Achimenes is another one. Here's the pink one. The Achimenes are a little rhizome, and both those plants go dormant in the winter. Here's another begonia. I have a hard time keeping this one, but it certainly is spectacular. It looks like red velvet. And then we have a lot of Coleuses for color. They come in all sizes and colors. This is a little tiny one. And most of these plants are here most of the time, except for the Achimenes. And the Achimenes are just now starting to put on this show. So it's what you might call a little crowded plant area. But I love the Achimenes, and they'll keep on blooming until it gets cooler. Here's another begonia, another Caladium. This is one of my favorite begonias. It's called Looking Glass. Looking good. And it's a nerve plant. And another begonia. This Achimenes is in a hanging basket, but it's not hanging. It's just up on a little stand, but it takes up a lot of room. And more Achimenes. This is the latest philodendron. And we have Salagenella and Calathea. I don't know why the Calathea is closing up. It's a little windy today. There's another one, another Caladium. More Achimenes in the back. Different Coleuses. Oh, I have a little friend on this one. I hadn't seen him. I get little worms on them. And this is a begonia which grows nicely out in the ground. It's like an angel wing, and it gets like 3 feet tall. It's very beautiful. Could never grow it in Connecticut. Always kill it. Another one. Small Calatheas. I have a lot of Calatheas outside. This Coleus is getting about big enough to be put out in the garden. When they get bigger, I put them in the garden and then start some smaller ones. But they give me a lot of color, even in the winter time. It's a purple Achimenes, sitting on the fishbowl right now. I don't have many orchids in bloom right at the moment, but this one blooms quite a bit of the time. Begonia that does really well. It's called Palomar Prince, and it can get much bigger than that. I have a little Primula conica, which blooms most of the time. And here's an Achimene with like a bad hair day. It's like a little ginger relative. A little flower there. This is a Primula that is called candelabra Primula, and I had a lot of these in Branford. A friend just gave me cuttings of this Coleus. He has a lot of them, and they just sort of self-hybridize, so I don't have anything like that. It's a new one for me. This is sort of a salmon-colored Achimenes. Oh, pink bulbs snuck in there somehow or other. This is a nice color. There's a Jerusalem cherry here. I think it had to get used to the elevation because it just lost all its leaves, and now it's finally coming back, but plants do that. This is a wandering Jew that I just recently found. It's new to me. I thought it was very pretty. More Achimenes, in case you're not bored with them yet. And this is an alternanthera, which has good color. It needs to be cut back. And this is just the plain old regular impatiens. It's been in that little pot for a couple of years. It just sits there and does its thing. I'm afraid to put it out in the ground. And that's the last Achimenes and the last begonia.